Right?
I'm here with Paul Linn. Good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you again, brother.
I just hate you when you're suffering and you had to cut down weight.
No, I'm good. I'm used to it, man. This is part of the process. I've embraced it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's part of process for you,
Yeah.
right? Yeah,
Well, most people. I mean,
yeah.
I guess. I don't know. I'm not. I don't plan on going up anytime soon. I'm gonna keep it where.
Daddy Ken just left,
Yeah.
and did you see him?
Yeah, I
He
caught him in
looked
the
he
elevator.
looked
Yeah, he was
miserable
like a little.
because he's cutting from 117 to 105,
Yeah.
right? So that's 12 kilos.
Yeah.
That's 27 pounds, something like
Yep.
that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've been there, close to that.
I
That's not ideal.
And he told me because he cut, I think, to 90 or 100 or something when he pulled Oleg Jok. He said, never again.
Yep.
And then he pulled Irakli. He's like, never again. And he's like, again. Right? Depending on opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, it's for the belt, right? Against the legendary Todd Hutchings, you know.
Exactly.
I mean, yeah, if you get the right offer, you're going to cut the weight.
Yeah.
I'll make 90 if it's the right match.
So right now you will face Irakli Zirakashvili.
Yep.
And it is for number one. So whoever wins gets the title.
Yes.
Shot at the title.
Yes.
Yes. So, how do you feel about this match? For me, it was very hard to predict.
Yeah.
Right? You're strong. We're always underestimated how strong you are. You're very strong, smart approach. Everything is there, in my opinion. With Irakli, he's explosively good top roller, and you have beaten good inside pullers. That was and not as great top rollers. But he might pose a threat that is just. How did you prepare for this? Where is your mind in this?
Well, it's like you said, it's a big unknown. This is a big litmus test for me. I was given all these elite hookers, and some of which I tried to top roll that didn't work out. And my best success has been inside pulling. So I haven't had to force a hook in these previous matches that much.
Yes.
Mostly guys that wanted to be there. So definitely a huge test. I pulled, several elite guys from Europe now, but again, never this level of a top roller. So obviously, in preparation, the preparation has to be the ability to contain. So that was a main focus, and then also getting with people who had experience against Irakli. So I did my due diligence. Number one, reaching out to people and just gauging things, and then also getting to train with guys who have pulled him. So obviously, I want to be inside. Whether I can get there or not, I mean, that's going to be the test. So ideally, if I can't get there, I'm going to do my best to make it ugly.
So Todd Hutchings, Marcel Barboza, right? John Brzenk, right? All the guys had experiences, different experiences, but he's not super versatile. We saw him pressing versus John, right?
Yes.
That's the only thing we saw him, but it was because John top rolled him,
Yes.
right? Do you think there's an option that you're gonna top roll him?
It has to be in the game plan. It must be.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I mean, I'm not the type of person who is okay losing the same way 3 times.
Yeah,
I would rather go out on my shield, even if it makes the match look one-sided, very one-sided. If I can't have success in one lane, I'm going to try another one.
Yeah, it's very hard, right? Unknown, right? When you pull in tournament, you kind of know someone, and then you have super match. But when you faced against someone you really don't know, and they have this one thing that they're extremely good at, right? I see a lot of scenarios. I see even a scenario where you just contain him and just pin him, like it's nothing, right? I see where you lose the hand. I see all of it, and it's very hard to predict.
Yeah.
And I think that makes exciting match.
Yep.
I think for Irakli as well, like he's like unknown because you beat a bunch of Georgians, right? So there's also that, right?
Yes.
The Georgian killer.
I don't know about that.
Devin called this guy. Before your next match.
Yeah, you're spot on. I know this is a match that Irakli wanted based on style, which I don't blame him. He's traditionally been very, very good against hookers. Aside from mainly Sasho, which is a very unique style of hooking.
Yes.
Now, I did speak to Sasho about that too. So, like, I come into this match feeling like there are several things I can try. but nobody likes to try. It's very hard to simulate a top roller of that caliber when you're going to practice.
With
So there's a lot of
insane back
unknown.
pressure
Yeah.
and great ability to take, right? He's because he's so strong here. There's a lot of this, right? And
Got back pressure, up pressure with that locked low hand. Yeah. Yep. We'll see. We'll see.
I like how like you face Sasha, you face Rustam, right? So these are big tests and and big names and probably the top of like Rustam legendary list, right? Sasha definitely going to be on that list, right? Irakli is not on that list yet, but he's a different kind of threat that is just as dangerous.
He'll
right?
be there. I mean, he's still young. He's still
Yeah.
He will undoubtedly be on that list in time. I mean, he's arguably he's made a case to be considered that level. As we stand right now, and he's still young, and so like I can only see him. He's only going to get better. The good news about preparation for him, there's a lot of data. Like there's a lot
He's
of
pulling
matches.
a lot.
So if anything, I think I went down that rabbit hole of maybe over analyzing. I find myself just going back to videos and rewatching them, seeing them different perspectives.
Where do you see what is hard to do with Irakli, and what is where do you see his where does he fail? Where does he fail?
Well, direct supination is especially through the bottom two is going to be very, very hard, especially if he sets with that up pressure and that low hand. That's going to be a huge challenge. That I think is what he's tailor made to stop. We saw Rustam have some success, but the angle switched a little bit when he had some success and when he was on the good side of the buckle. So that has to fall into the game plan too, what I do depending on which side of the buckle I'm on. But we saw him against Dadikian wear a high cup, index-driven cup, and a very, big, strong wrist flexion. He seemed to have struggled there. We saw John with the ability to pronate defensively. But again, I mean, Sasho and Hutchings showed that dedicated side pressure can wear that pronation out if you can sink it and hold it.
Flat wrist, just.
Yeah.
So, dead on. Because that was, I was like, this is where we were gonna have a discussion. There's no discussion.
Yeah.
You did your homework.
Yeah, overly, to the point where I question myself after I do more.
You're like,
Yeah.
yeah. But I think it's a super exciting match, and there's more, of course. Great matches on the card.
Absolutely.
Is there like one more match?
Man, Todd and Dadikan. I mean, maybe it's because I've been communicating so much with Todd, but I'm just I'm so impressed and enamored by his ability to get better with age. And having practiced with him a couple times, I truly believe he is in his peak form. He's getting better from the practices that have led up. It's incredible to me. So, obviously being on Team West and everything, this is a huge match, I think, for us overall. Todd having having the belt and then defending it against, I mean, I don't even know who would be next after that, maybe Prudnik. But at this point, to me, that's one of the ones, I mean, obviously the whole card's awesome. But that's the one that I have one of the most personal investments in.
I have hypothesis for Todd. So because we see him literally improving in real time, right? I think where do you as an athlete, right? Let's say you're arm wrestler, right? Where can you improve? You can improve technically and physically, right? And I think he improved physically more than he improved technically, and now he's adding to the technical. He's like, this angle,
yes,
I might do this.
Yep.
And so it looks like he's just getting much, much better because he's making these small and I still feel like there's a lot of room.
Yep.
There's still a lot of room, right? And when because now he built his style with power, but there was still some hole. And now he's like slowly fixing those holes.
Yep.
Right?
Well, I mean, the world loves to classify Todd as a brute force side pressure puller, and that couldn't be further from the truth.
He's very smart. There's brute force there, definitely, but he's very good at getting not letting you out, right?
The guy's an engineer. He sees these matches like math problems that he has to solve and prepare for in that fashion. And like you said, he laid the groundwork with sheer power. And now, from talking to him about his training, the guy doesn't get credit for back pressure and pronation. But if you've ever pulled with him, you realize how much back pressure and pronation he has. And I think that has been a shift in training where he's gone away from more that crazy side pressure, and he's shifted intensity towards some other areas.
Like Todd, like everyone always said, like Todd is just like his angle was always very, very close. The idea is if you can keep the angle and still continue pushing, that's more power, right? So he always had a lot of back pressure, and he always had a good pronation, because even if you get him here, he keeps the pronate. He's never fully supinated.
Yep.
We almost never see him like this, right? He doesn't do classic hook.
Nope.
This is American hook.
It is an
right?
American hook.
This is American hook. So he's good. I think people don't see those things because he's not fully cupped, right? If he would be in same position but fully cupped, right? But Todd build himself to do it flat wrist, right? Where there's should be more, like this is harder further you are, right? It's hard. For him, no, it's the opposite.
Yep.
Right? He built it differently, and people don't see these things.
He has the best American hook possibly at any weight.
Definitely.
But the problem is no one wants to hook him. And
Exactly.
they've given him, you know, the label of he doesn't have a hand, which is again not true. His wrist and fingers are incredibly strong, but he has adapted himself to not hook top rollers, but just beat top rollers.
With hook pullers, right? They don't want to hook him because he doesn't cup in. He stays flat, right? So you don't have anything to work on. Like you can't get this when someone is keeping this. Like he's intentionally keeping like this. So it's very hard, that style, because it feels like you just gave, like you took a hook and he's in a top roll, but he's still on his side.
He's still pronated too.
Yes.
That's the other thing too. When he goes into a wrist-to-wrist hook, you don't just feel side pressure. You feel rotation hard. He'll blow your hand up that way. Well, and that's what to me makes this match interesting. If Dadikyan has the ability, he definitely has the wrist to initiate a hook, but is he gonna, you know,
I think he's
have
gonna.
the intestinal fortitude to just dive in there with him? Because I believe that's the best option.
I think because Dadikyan is built like he is, right? So he's a lot of side pressure, a lot of hand. So he might mimic what Prudnik does very well.
High side pressure top roll.
Yes.
Yep.
And Prudnik, Zuluyev, right? Zuluyev, one of the greatest inside pullers, and pulled top roll, right? Even Rustam, when he beat Hutchings,
Low-handed.
just like this.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think he might do that.
The big common denominator between those three opponents is we saw Todd try and hang on and hook outside of the strap.
Yes.
You ain't gonna see that no more.
No.
He ain't
no,
wait.
no.
He's not being. He's not being.
He fixed that
anymore.
like this.
Yep.
I'm still waiting on Dallas Langston to fix it, right? Because Dallas pulls very similarly to Todd.
Yep.
Like he doesn't cup. He stays flat wristed. A lot of side pressure, right? I see a lot of similarities there. Also, same problems, right? And, Todd, I remember that match with Zuluyev was just frustrating.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. We could talk for days for this.
Yeah. I know we did one match.
Yeah, this card is insane.
Yep.
As always, professional, and I can't wait to see you pull. I wish you nothing but success. I think it's a great match, great opportunity for you to test yourself.
Yeah.
And we're gonna find out.
Yes, sir.
You know.
Yep.
You know.
Can't wait.
What you say? What you say?
Tell me what I can't do.
Exactly. Live on pay-per-view this Saturday, East vs. West 11, January 20th. Live on pay-per-view. Link is in description. Paul Linn.
Thank you, sir.